Okay, we have another guest coming in, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So, welcome everyone. This is your April monthly manifest monthly. I'm getting them backwards now. I'm so glad that you're all here. I'm super, super excited. This is the third month we've been doing it now. The crowd is growing, and I'm just so glad that you're all here. Um, I've explained before for those of you who haven't been here. Manifestation is kind of like my baby, right? I've studied it, I read about it, I take courses on it, I teach it. I've been teaching it now for a few years, and every time I teach it, or I just get deeper and deeper and deeper with it, and it just gets even more and more fun. So while in the beginning, I'm a little distracted, and I apologize because I'm trying to keep an eye out for the people that are still coming in. So, forgive me and my distractions there. I just want to make sure that everybody gets in. And all right. So, last month, we talked a lot about these two different sentences, right? We talked about making manifesting fun because as soon as you put pressure into manifestation, it kind of slows things down, right? It clogs the drain of the flow of energy. And one of the sentences that we talked about was, I am grateful for. And we would end the sentence with whatever it is that you were looking for, right? Or the other sentence was, wouldn't it be fun if? Wouldn't it be fun if I manifested a parking spot right outside the studio, which I've done a couple of times? Well, I do that a lot, actually. Um, wouldn't it be fun if, I got a check in the mail today? Or wouldn't it be fun, that kind of thing. And then the other thing that we talked about was decluttering, like spring cleaning. This is the time for spring cleaning, clean out a drawer, clean out your wallet, pay an old bill, whatever. Just clean up your space and make space for new and greater things. And then the other thing that we talked about was improving your relationship with money. So I talked about how I created a money playlist to do my bills with and have fun with it. So I light a candle, I invited in like a friend, the money's my friend, and we partake in a little dancing and singing while we're kind of going through the bills and sifting through everything. And then, I even ate dinner with it this time because I did it in around a meal. And it was just fun. It just makes the experience of paying your bills or managing your money a little bit more fun, which therefore will improve your overall relationship with the energy of money. Because money is not just a thing, money is energy, it's a currency, and it's meant to flow, right? Flow out, flow in, ebb and flow. So before I get started with my own monthly update, I wanted to just open the floor for a few minutes for those of you that were here last month. And I want to know, did you implement those statements? Some of you requested the playlist. I think I sent it to everybody anyway. Did anybody use the playlist? I know it's goofy and there's some really goofy songs on it, which makes me laugh even more and makes the whole process fun. Or did anybody, what was the last thing? Two sentences and the playlist and okay. Did anybody do anything from last month and what was your experience? Show of hands. Or just unmute yourself. Go ahead, Mayor.
I did, yeah. What did I say? Because actually, I got my homestead rebate check. I thought, wow, this is nice, and it was that I was grateful for the abundance in every aspect of my life. The fact that I'm abundant with this bottle of water, my desk, looking at my computer, but I was abundant that day with money, and I said, "Oh, a state refund," and I looked at it and I said, "Yes, yes, way to
I'm
go,
s- I'm so glad you celebrated that.
yes."
That was an awesome rebate. Yeah, and I experienced that as well this past month. So that was a nice little thing. I think I filed for that almost a year ago, so I
I
completely
know.
forgot about it. Yeah.
I know it was a surprise. It's my trip money.
Yay. Anyone else want to share?
Well, you already know what happened for me, but I guess I'll share it anyway. So every time I go out to do Uber or Lyft, I always say, I'm grateful for the money I'm going to make. I'm grateful for the money I'm going to make. And earlier this month, my boss pulled me into a meeting and told me that I'm getting a pretty hefty raise. So didn't make the money from Uber or Lyft, but it's coming. So
And you're getting it 6 months early.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah. That was awesome. Yeah. Just because I know it doesn't mean you can't share it with the group. Did anybody else use it or use anything? Anybody play the playlist? Anybody get goofy with me on that? No. All right. Well, you have it. If you want it, let me know. I'll be happy to send it out to you. And it's just fun. It's just to add an element of fun and joy to your process of paying bills. All right. So if nobody, go ahead, Sue.
Yeah, so I said that I was grateful for the referrals that I'm getting from my friends on I'm doing a little bit more animal communication. And I got 3 new customers in the last 2 weeks. So yeah.
Awesome. So what's your target number, Sue?
I don't have one, but because I just try to fill in the time. So I'll work on that. I just don't want to overcommit.
No, no, no. I get that too. I get that too. But wouldn't it be fun if you can get
Yeah,
one or two more?
absolutely. Yeah.
Anyone else? Wow, we're quiet tonight. We were pretty talkative last time around. Jeez. All right. Well, then I'm going to go ahead and get in on my monthly update. And then afterwards, we'll have a little Q&A, and then I'm going to introduce our guest speaker. And I go like this because I'm in the Brady Bunch squares here. Yeah, there he is. He's in my upper left-hand corner, the one dancing there. Yeah. So we'll get started with mine, and then we'll go from there. And if anybody has any questions at any point in time, feel free to just unmute yourself and interrupt, or if you want to wave at me, you can wave. Um, so I was going to put some information in the chat section, but what I'll do instead is I'll send a follow-up email tomorrow like I did last month, and I'm going to put our guest speakers' information in there, my information, and Live and Joy's information as well. So Um, my monthly update. I wanted to talk a little bit about um, the law of rhythm. So there's 12 manifestation universal laws. Well, there's more, but there's 12 main ones, okay? And one of them is called the law of rhythm. And the reason I wanted to bring this up is because of what I experienced this past month. So the law of rhythm basically states that everything is cyclical and change is right around the corner, right? Everything is on a consistent cycle, whether it be a short one or a long one. This is the law. I'm sorry. This law is the process of moving in and out and in various phases of life or experiencing seasons of change. So we know this through nature mostly, right? You see it in nature. Obviously, the seasons are very different and they all have a cycle, right? The flowers aren't blooming in the snow, so there's different phases of nature. That's our best example, but we all have different cycles. We have daily cycles. I have my best energies in the morning and I get things done the first half of the day, and then the second half of the day is kind of where I start to, I won't say fizzle because I don't want to say that, but I just start to wind down a bit. And then at nighttime, come 5, 6 o'clock, I really don't want to be out. I just want to be home. But some people have their best energy at night. There's weekly cycles, especially if you work a steady schedule, you understand that weekly cycle, monthly cycles. Women, we all understand the monthly cycles, and so do the men that live with them, right? There's seasonal, yearly, there's even life cycles. There's different cycles throughout life. So, um, what I wanted to bring up is this cycle that I'm in now. So this last month, I've been way slowed down. I have had a lot of energy for the first part of the year through January, February. I've had a lot of momentum going with my own personal study, my spiritual journey, my manifestation journey. I've been very on the go and getting things done. And you all know my book and the goals and everything, from the first time we met, how I go about achieving my goals for to manifest. And I did not do a lot of that this past month, especially in the last 2 weeks. Something has definitely slowed down within me. And for those of you that are familiar with the science of Ayurveda, I'm predominantly Kapha. So we are in the tail end of the Kapha season. So naturally, my rhythm is going to slow down right now. So years past, I would have totally beat myself up over this. I would have the negative talk would have just gone in and gone in, and I would have gotten even heavier and heavier, if that makes sense, just the sense of feeling heavier. And I probably would have gotten slower and maybe even a little depressed years ago. But now I understand that this is my cycle. This is my phase to just kind of slow it down and stay a little bit calmer and just allow, right? And that was a huge lesson for me this last month, was just to allow the heaviness of the energies that I was feeling to just be, and honor myself for it, and really just kind of tend to myself. I drank a lot of tea, and I just really nurtured myself throughout this period here. And one day, um, well, not one day, I'll get there in a second. The one thing that I really, really appreciated about this was when I really slowed down and I didn't just hit all my, routines and practices and everything that I was doing. I was literally doing bare minimum, only what I had to get done. But I was really able to tune into the inspired action steps that were coming to me. Does that make sense? So I was really quiet and I was able to really, they were loud and clear. And I'll tell you what happened. I went to the gym. So yeah, I still went to the gym a little bit, but I actually took a lot more days off this month. But I was at the gym and I play this game every once in a while with the universe. I said, all right, universe, tell me what I'm supposed to learn today. And I'll throw on my YouTube app, and whatever comes up first, I'll hit it. And then that's kind of what I go with. And my feed always has like Abraham Hicks, or has fitness stuff, or, manifestation mindset stuff. So strangely enough, the first thing that came up was how to create your own podcast. And I thought this was really interesting, because if I go back to my goals in my goal journal in the very beginning, when I wrote everything out after our meditation, under the multiple streams of income for Live and Joy, there is the word podcast, but I never really gave it another thought. So I watched the video. I'm like, okay, well, that's easy enough, which led me to another video, which led me to another video, which led me to a website, which led me to more information. And then before I know it, I know everything that I need to do to create a podcast. So there's equipment that you got to buy. So I go on Amazon and I order it, and I just had this nudge, like, don't place that order yet. All right. So I have the stuff sitting in a cart. 2 days later, I kind of get that nudge again. So I call these inspired actions. Go back onto that Amazon list and go ahead and place your order. Well, one of the pieces of equipment went half off. So instead of spending $108, I got everything for $82. Hey, pretty cool, right? This is what happens. This is the support that you get through the universe when you listen. So I just wanted to bring that up to you, because that is what I'm experiencing. Now, I know that this next month of May is my time to get out in that garden. I've already started to plant some seeds and start to get moving again. And then I know when summertime comes, I'm going to be on the go again. And that's my rhythm. So what is your rhythm? Take a look at that. Do you naturally slow down at a certain part of the year? It may not be the same time as me, could be completely different, but honor that, and really try to understand why you go through those phases, if that makes sense. And maybe there's something that's meant to come through to you that you wouldn't otherwise hear or be in tune to. Okay. So then,
Sharon,
yes,
I just interrupt. So while you
yes.
were talking about being still, I pulled a card, and I have this deck of cards just sitting out here. And the card I pulled for you is stillness is the key to success. So
I love that. Wow. Thank you, Sue. That was amazing. Wow, what a gift. Thank you. Yay. So that just validated me even more, huh? Awesome. Very cool. Thank you. All right. So, yeah, we talked about the law of action there, right? So then there's one other thing that I wanted to talk about real quick, and that is, it's a completely different topic, but it's all about manifestation, right? So the process of manifestation, the real magic happens when, now I'm going to use my hands here. So my right hand is going to be our conscious minds, and my left hand is going to be our subconscious minds, because I like to talk with my hands. When the conscious mind and the subconscious mind communicate, that's where the beauty, that's where the magic really happens with, um, I'm sorry, with manifestation. So the issue is when we're feeling blocked, or we're feeling like we're holding ourselves back or whatever, there's a disconnect between the subconscious mind and the conscious mind. So I just wanted to talk to you real quick about that, because this is one tool that I actually used during this slowdown period for me, because I needed to kind of settle myself down, because you do start to judge yourself a little bit every once in a while. It's normal. I'm going to get into why that's normal. So, the conscious mind, just a real quick synopsis here. I'm sure you all know the difference between conscious and subconscious, but the conscious mind is right here and now. I'm talking to you, you're listening to me, or we're interacting, you're seeing me. It's this human plane, this 3D plane that we're in. That's the conscious mind, right? The subconscious mind is actually like a little 7-year-old child who holds on to all of your core beliefs and stories from the second you were born straight through to now. Okay. But it literally has the age level, they say, the age level of a 7-year-old. And I'll get into that in just a second. Um, the conscious mind understands that there's a past, present, and future. Subconscious mind does not. The subconscious mind, whatever's going on in the subconscious mind right now, it feels like it is now. It's happening right now. It doesn't understand the concept of past, present, future. So whatever you're focusing on in the conscious is what your subconscious is holding on to as a present moment issue, whether it's positive or negative. Okay. So the job of the conscious mind is to take in all the data through the senses and create these experiences, these thoughts and things like that. It's to help you navigate through this physical life. The only job of the subconscious mind is to protect you in your conscious state. Okay. But it goes about it in a weird, funky way. So how do we get it to protect you or not protect you when you don't want it to? So I want to just give you a quick example here. If I were to go to a memory of a not so pleasant experience, I'll take a car accident for example. I got into a pretty bad car accident way back in the day. And if I think about it, like really put some focus on it, because I'm fine with it now, but you might relate to this through a memory that you have, that you actually start having physiological symptoms. Maybe your heart rate gets a little faster, or you breathe a little faster, like your body's starting to react to the memory of what happened. So your conscious mind is in the memory of the past, but your subconscious mind is in the present moment. So you're focusing on a memory, your subconscious mind is responding to that memory right now. And it's creating these physiological effects because it's going into fight or flight mode. Okay, because it needs to protect you, because that it feels fear, it feels danger. That's what it's there for. So now imagine when you say something completely different about the future, like, I want to be a millionaire, right? Your ego mind or your subconscious mind is going to have those same reactions, and I'll tell you why. Because it's not familiar. You being a millionaire, as far as I'm aware, maybe you're close, I don't know, but as far as I'm aware, none of us are millionaires, but maybe we are, I don't know. But whatever is not familiar, the ego mind is going to shut it down in some way. So if you can get your conscious mind and subconscious mind to communicate, that is where things calm down a little bit. Okay. So this is what I used. Give me one moment. There we go. I used another sentence this past month. And the sentence was, Sorry, I'm getting distracted because I just admitted somebody else. It is safe for me to blank. Literally tell your subconscious mind that it is safe. It is safe for me to be a millionaire. It is safe for me to create a business. It is safe for me to lose weight, right? That's a big one. It is safe for me to change a habit, right? So if you are naturally an overeater or you're a smoker or you're a drinker or anything like that, even though it's a dangerous situation to your own body, your subconscious mind doesn't get that. What it knows is it's familiar, so it wants to hold on to that. So when you want to get out of that, you have to let your subconscious mind know that it is safe to do that. So just a simple statement to your subconscious mind, it is safe for me too. So please write that down, use that every time something comes up. It is safe for me to be wildly wealthy. These are just some examples I'm throwing out at you. It is safe for me to lose that last 30 pounds. It is safe for me to put myself out there, be vulnerable, be judged, and create a podcast. Because that was a big one for me this month, right? That's all I wanted to share with you. If you get anything from what I've already talked about, I really hope that you take that statement. Keep the other fun statements from last month too. It is, wouldn't it be fun if, or I am grateful for, it is safe for me to what, right? So that is all I have for you for this month. Before we move on to our special guest, does anybody have any questions or can you relate to anything? Or do you any observations or anything? Quiet group tonight, man. Wow. All right. Well, if nobody has anything, then I'm going to turn this over to our guest speaker, my little brother, Richard Parks. He's up there dancing. Yeah, yeah. I am going to go ahead and mute myself, and you go ahead and take the floor.
Hey y'all, Twitter alert. Thank you, Sharon. Oh, this is so cool being on here with you doing this every month. And yeah, I mean, I kind of almost feel like leading a little dance class right now just to get everybody moving, get that energy flowing. Which is actually one thing that sometimes I do is little joy alarms throughout the day. Just celebrate, just set an alarm. 6:30, beep, beep, beep. All right, time to dance. Because I'm trying to get my body into that state. So, manifestation. This is a big topic, isn't it? How much time do we got? Infinity? Here's the thing. There is a lot to talk about. And we're always manifesting, right? It doesn't matter. We're always manifesting. Whether you're watching me from a cardboard box or you're watching me from the mansion in Beverly Hills, doesn't matter. We're always everything that we have, we've brought this in somehow, some way. So I got a few things that I want to talk about. I'm going to give a couple of stories because I have some cool ones that happened this past week. I think I told you, Sharon. So I do this one thing when I go to the mail. I go out to the mailbox and I say, I'm so grateful for this check today, man. Oh man. And I get the mail, no check. So I've been doing this for like, I don't know, maybe a month. So last week I go out to the mailbox. I forget to say it. Was tired after work, whatever. Get the mail, I'm like, oh, there's a check. So open up $180 from Toyota for no reason at all. I have no idea. They just sent me a check, some, I don't know, airbag thing or something. But in any regards, it just was something that I play with every day. Just like like Sharon was talking about, wouldn't it be fun if when I go to the mailbox, I say, oh man, I'm so grateful for this check. Or like Cassie's story earlier, you can make it into whatever you want, but I just thought that was interesting how that just came in. So I'm gonna talk about something called the wave of success and how I use that. Most recently to manifest a really big gift. So the wave of success, I learned from a woman named Renee Garcia. You can find her on YouTube. She learned through another teacher who teaches something called trans surfing. It's through a Russian man named Vadim Zeland. I could type all this stuff in. Anyways, it's a whole world of manifesting on another level. I find that everyone's teaching very similar things through their own unique expression of themselves. The wave of success is also a fun little thing to do. So the way Renee teaches it, Renee Garcia, not you, Renee. He basically says, whenever I find a coin on the ground, I pick it up, or it could be anything. But as an example, a coin on the ground could be a penny. She picks it up and she says, hey, look, it's the wave of success. And so what happens is you're acknowledging this, whatever it is, this coin, a dollar, I don't know, somebody buys you lunch, doesn't matter. And it's like a wave. And it starts moving, right? And so what happened was, a couple months ago, I started doing this, and I did the same thing. I was picking up a coin. I was like, it's the wave of success. Well, about a week later, somebody at work came to me and they gave me $100 gift card for no reason. It's not my birthday. It's no special day and nothing. They just gave me a really nice gift card. They even wrote me a nice poem. I was like, wow, and I really had to sit back and allow it, because, keep in mind here, this is going to be a big thing here, allowing, receiving. So I was like, wow. And I kept that up, I didn't tell him, I didn't say, hey, this is the wave of success. But afterwards I was like, oh, it's the wave of success. And then it kept happening. And I kept celebrating, and these things were happening. And then I had a friend call me. And this was a man that I met on a retreat last year, and he's a really awesome guy. We became good friends. And he asked me if I was going back to the same retreat this year. And I told him, I said, nah, I have a lot of other things going on. I would like to go. And we were having a conversation. I was asking him if he was going, and he said to me, Rich, it would be my honor if I could buy your retreat for you. And I was like, what? Like you keep in mind, this is like $3,000, retreat here. And so in the moment, I'm blown away. I'm like, wow, like I'm just going to receive this. I'm going to receive this. I'm going to allow this. Now, there's been a time in my life where I couldn't even allow people to, like, if they were going to buy me lunch, I'd be like, I got it. Constantly rejecting the universe. No, don't worry about it. There's no way in my past that I would have been able to say, hey, you can buy me a retreat to Utah. I wouldn't have had my vibration, my place of self-worth. I would not have been able to allow that into my life without feeling some sort of guilt or that I owe him something. So that's why the receiving is a key as well. So, obviously I was very grateful. I was very thankful, but I also had to realize, this came in through the universe and through him. And I don't owe him anything. I don't need to feel guilty. I don't need to feel like I need to, go buy him. I mean, I'm not saying that I wouldn't someday, send him a thank you card or whatever, but it was this big wave that I was riding from something very small, right? And But then I also had to make it like a little bookmark out of this and say, oh, this is what it's like to receive money from someone. This is what it feels like to be gifted a large gift, because I wasn't used to that feeling. So that was a key thing for me to make that a bookmark experience for myself. And like a wave, if you're riding a wave, if you're surfing, eventually it's going to crest and you're going to go into shore, and it's going to ride out, but there'll be other waves as well. Like, it's not something you ride forever. It's not like, then the next week somebody gifted me, but it wasn't like that. But it's something fun to practice. So now whenever I see I say, oh, it's the wave of success. And I let it play out where it wants to play out. It doesn't matter to me. If you guys have any questions, by the way, at any time, please interrupt, raise your hand, whatever. So let's get into some other things here. I'm going to speak about some things that I feel is important in the manifestation world that I'm practicing myself and that I'm sharing with you. One thing I like from another teacher, Aaron Dougherty. I know Sharon, I know you know him. He's pretty popular on YouTube. And he's spreading all these information as well from these different teachers. But there's one thing that stuck with me, and he talks about, so the quote is, be it, do it, have it. Okay. So normally we think backwards. We think have it, do it, be it. So we think, oh, once I get the house and I have it, then I'll do really rich things. Then I'll feel happy. Once I have the relationship, then I'll feel this way. Once I have the job of my dreams, wrong. That's the trick. That's the trick. You want to reverse this, okay? So what it means is whatever your dream is. I don't care if it's big or small. It doesn't matter to me if it's an apartment or a mansion. It doesn't matter to me. Who is that version of you? Who is that person that is in that beautiful relationship? What does she look like? What does she dress like? How does she talk? What movies does she watch? How does she walk? How does she drive? How does she respond at work when the boss is saying, you got to do something you don't want to do? You want to get in the vibration of who that person is now. So there's another quote. How you do one thing is how you do everything. Okay. So if I'm in my job and I don't really enjoy my job that much, so I kind of slack off and I'm just kind of like, I don't really like it. Hold on. Anyways, I heard something. So I don't really, and in that moment, I just decided to be lazy and I'm not going to get my work done that day. Well, here's the thing. That's a reflection of how I'm doing everything else in life. I'm not saying you got to go around and be a perfect person, but what I'm saying is, no, this is my job right now. So I'm going to do it as best as I can do it until I get to that entrepreneur, where I'm life coaching people and I'm traveling around the world. How you do one thing is how you do everything. Be the man now. The same person, I want to be him vibrationally on the inside right now, as the same guy who has a nice sports car, is a life coach, doing well, traveling all over the place whenever I want, has a beautiful woman in my life. You know, all these things, I want to be them and live them, because that's the magnet space, is your heart space, you know? And that is going to allow you to bring those experiences in. So, you know, it's an important aspect I come back to very often. It's like, I wake up in the morning, you know, man, I don't feel like going to the gym today, you know? But you know what? It's like, I don't know, that guy who wants to be whipped on the beach, like, is that what he does? Is that what he does? Does he just roll over? Does he just put the pillow on? Does he hit the snooze? I mean, you know, again, this isn't about like being perfect and shaming yourself if you didn't do it that day. But like, let's be real, like some of those things, they take action. Matter of fact, all those things take action. So if you could come from that place though, of like your state of joy, you know, whatever that is, if you were there, if you were in that relationship, that's a key thing. Any questions on that? Any comments? Any thoughts? You guys doing all right? Thumbs up? You're there? All right, cool. All right, so like Sharon, I don't even know.
I do have something to say.
Okay, you got something to say, Renee, go ahead, jump in.
So I was on a really long phone call last night with a really good friend who, it's really funny because I always thought that like this stuff had to do with someone who was super spiritual and all of this other stuff. And she's not that. So it's universe this, universe that, and I'm down with it. But she has blown my mind how she has done this for herself. Single mom, special needs child, nurse, you know, and was in abusive relationship structures and left a man that they were good in, you know, high school together, but really was forced into this crunch place where she's with these toxic people. And now it's right in front of her face. So she just broke everything down because she was pushed to the limit, spent 9 months reading books. And she told me, she's like, you know, what does it feel like, you know, being treated like a lady? What does it feel like? And don't you know that 9 months later, she's telling me, I didn't ask for this dude to come in right away. I didn't ask for this. I didn't ask for that. But my friend was telling me how great he was. And so there's a reliable source. I did a background check, you know, she's telling me all this stuff. And she's like, it's just flowing and it works, like, you know, and she's like, I expect nothing because I'm good on my own now because of all this work that I've done. And she pulled that in. So it was a combo because she was proving that that works. So you find your own specific way to do this, and your way's great.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, it's going to be completely unique to each and every one of you, of us. Yeah, I love that. I love hearing the success stories for people, you know, in this world. So let's see if I can try to squeeze a couple more things in. Sherry, you let me know if I'm doing all right on time. Because there's a lot. And so along those same lines, right? Let's bring this into what Renee Garcia would call anomalous action. So one thing that she teaches is her story is basically what she would do is she grew up poor, she grew up in a poverty mindset, she lived in a trailer, she had, you know, cheap clothes, cheap car, blah, blah, blah. And she would go to these really nice fashion clothing stores. And she would go in there, real expensive. And she would say, and she would be scared because she would be in sweatpants and she would be, you know, like not looking like the typical client where the salespeople weren't even looking at her, and then she would say, I want to try that on, right? But she would be scared. Her body, this was out of her comfort zone. She didn't feel safe. This wasn't a safe space for her. But she would do it, and she would do it again, 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 until what would happen was, first of all, her body would get used to the feeling of not feeling comfortable there until it started to feel comfortable there, right? So that's one thing that happens when you go out your comfort zone. Is like, well, eventually you just stretched your comfort zone now. You just made it bigger, you know? Like, maybe this starts off, speaking in front of 10, 15 people on Zoom, and then one day it's 100, and then the next time it's 1,000. The comfort zone, you make it comfortable. The other thing with that is the universe is a mirror, right? So this is a big subject. But without going too deep into it, if you're putting yourself in that place over and over and over, eventually the universe has to mirror back to you at least an opportunity for you to have the money to get that thing. So if you rent every day, where's my friend Shelly down here? If you rent to the Maserati dealership every day for, I don't know how long, let's say 30 days, and you're just like, I want to try that, I want to drive that, I want to drive that, I want to test drive that, I want to test drive that. Well, guess what? You sending a message to reality, this is where I exist. This is where I should be, here. Eventually, I'm not saying it's going to be like, ta-da, here's a Maserati, but if you persist, it's going to start giving you opportunities to get what you want, whether it's through a new job, whether it's through winning the lottery, it doesn't matter, whether it's through a gift. You don't need to know the how. We don't get your head and get out of the way with it. You do not need to know the how of how this is going to work. You just need to focus on the goal slide with this particular practice, So that's a fun thing I like to practice is like, there's been times where it's like, I go to a store, I walk past a store and there's a really nice jacket, right? It's real sexy, gonna look real good on me. But I can't see it because that jacket costs $300. And I don't have $300 to spend on that right now because I got all kinds of other bills to pay. So even though my reality is showing this to me, I am not able to see it. It's right next to me. This can happen with, you could be walking past your soulmate, but if I don't look at that and give that a chance and say, you know what? I want to feel like if I put this on right now, I go in there, I put the jacket on. Let's just say it's a perfect fit. Inside of my body, if I'm feeling amazing now, if I'm feeling sexy, if I'm feeling really good with that, but my mind is saying, don't you do it. You cannot do that right now. No, sir. This is not a good idea. The mind, that ego, that state is trying to keep you safe. Now, to me, it is more worth it sometimes to go and do that for yourself. Because now every day when I put that on, my vibration is up. I feel good. I feel rich. Maybe it's not the leather jacket for you. It could be something else. But the point is, you really got to check yourself on the inside. And that's where I'm going to go with my last statement here. All right, because I know we're running out of time, but so I got this book here. It's called existential kink. Not what you think. I mean, it's kinky, but not what you think. And it's a good book. It really is. There's a quote here from Carl Jung. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will rule your life and you will call it fate. I'm gonna say that again. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will rule your life and you will call it fate.
Rich, what page is that on? Because I have the book. I'm gonna check it out.
That is part one, right in the beginning, right? That would be page 3. This is so important. This is so important because, guys, girls, guys, ladies and gentlemen, you know, it's like that iceberg, you know, where, you know, you got the conscious mind and you got the unconscious, the subconscious. I'm not going to get into breaking all that down, but everything below the conscious, we're walking around, we get programmed as children, and then we're just walking around as walking programs from when we were 1 through 7. This is what happens. If you're not aware, if I do, and I thought for some reason, if I'm holding shame in my body over anything, it's going to be hard for me to see that jacket and say, let me try that on. It's going to be hard for me, you know, to see that loving partner. It's going to be hard for me if I'm unconscious of what's going on with me on the inside, right? And so, you know, I have just recently learned to be quite vulnerable, that I've had a lot of shame, which, by the way, is like the lowest vibration, because that means that I feel, shame is like you feel that you are inertly worthless, essentially. So when I came to realize, well, like, sexual desire is a bad thing for me, something that's natural, which I was taught as a child. This means all my other desires are bad as well. Now, so that means if I want to go get that jacket, well, that means I'm bad. You know, if I want to go have this, so I need to be very keenly aware of what's going on inside of my body, how I feel. And, you know, there's a lot to talk about, and I'm not going to go any further, but doing things with your body and making yourself feeling safe in your body, stretching yourself to do things outside your comfort zone, and then reminding yourself, I'm safe doing this. I'm safe to speak in front of you all about this right now. You know, it's a stretch. It's a stretch. It's a stretch. But every time you do it, you take action, it's a new imprint for your subconscious. It's a new imprint for your body to feel that and be like, okay, wait a minute, I'm safe. I'm safe. You know, to be honest with you, even if y'all said this sucks, I'm still here. And I know that it's okay. I'm safe to do this. So, like, you got to take action too. You can't just think about it. Think about it. Read. I've read for years and years and years, but at some point you gotta take new actions in your life.
So can I interject there?
Yes, please.
You talked about the stretch. So Aaron Doherty, who Rich mentioned earlier, and I think I taught this in one of my manifestation workshops, he has this exercise called stretch identity, where you go into some, the example that he uses, he goes into a public place goes into a supermarket and he literally holds a piece of, I don't know, it's like an avocado or papaya or something, and he professes his love to it in the middle of the store, makes this big Romeo and Juliet scene in the produce section, and eventually proposes to it, and then it says yes, and he actually gets people to clap along with him, and it's just it's really, really wild. But the more that you stretch your comfort zone or your box, the safer that subconscious mind is going to feel. And just like Rich said, the more you do it, the easier it's going to get. So are you done, Rich? Because we have not even 10 minutes left. So I want to make sure that we have some
I'm done for now. I mean, this subject can go on and on and on and on.
on and on. Yeah, that's why I want to just keep bringing this stuff to you every month. And Rich, you're always welcome to come on and share. So grateful that you were here and all that information. Yes, love it. I love it. I love it. And
Thank you all for
I-
listening.
thank you for sharing your experiences and everything. And a lot of what you said tied into what I said, which was awesome too. Um, so yeah, does anybody have any questions or feedback or want to comment on anything before we end this month?
Yeah. So I've been reading a spiritual weight loss book, and part of what she talks about is you need to learn to love the not thin you in order to get to thin you. And I never saw it as manifestation until Rich talked about be it, do it, have it. And it's like, how would I feel as the thin version of me be that person now? So it all connects. I just found that really interesting. So.
Right. And then for those of you that either saw the replay or was here the first month that we did it, we talked about the goals and how you would feel. How does that version of you feel having obtained those desires or goals already, and to tap into those emotions on a frequent basis so that you become an energetic match to your desires? It's like Rich said, there's so many different ways to say the same message, and it's just really, really awesome. And I love that. And by the way, Rich, a lot of us have existential kink. I know Cassie held up her book. I have it. Mary has it. That's awesome. Great, great book, guys. If you want, what I'll do is I'll include that in the follow-up emails, and I'll put the author in there so that you can take a look or order it if you want. It's really an amazing, more contemporary way of understanding yourself a lot better, if that makes sense. So does anybody else have anything they want to share?
No, but I have to go. So I love you guys. Thank you so much. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
I love you too, Mary. Thank you for joining us.
Bye bye.
I think Nicole has her hand up. I'm not sure if that means she wants to talk.
Nicole, where are you at?
Hi, sorry. I'm programmed from work to put your hand up in a meeting, so here we go. Okay, so I just wanted to say I loved your talk, both of you. You could definitely see Sharon was having so much pride watching you speak. She had a beaming smile the whole time. So you could see the sisterly, brotherly love there. Love it. I just wanted to comment on a couple of things that Rich said about shame, and then also taking those steps to kind of personalize on things that helped for me, is that I was overwhelmed. I couldn't even take a compliment. If someone would say something to me, I would just be like, cower in the corner. So for me, I started to try and take small steps. And part of that was to just show kindness in the ways that I would want people to show kindness to me. And I love to give compliments. Just like that is my go-to. If I feel uncomfortable in a situation, I give lots of compliments because it helps me calm down and ground, and just makes me feel like I'm connecting to the person on some level. With the shame thing, a lot of that for us that's just programmed the way we were conditioned to be raised, like you said, and to check in. Like if you observe that you're doing like a knee-jerk reaction to something, to kind of say, wow, what is the core emotion that I'm feeling here? And like, I'm feeling really angry. Why am I angry? and just try and pinpoint it, because once you bring awareness to a situation or a pattern, it's really a lot easier to break that circuit of having that automatic response. So just a couple of things I wanted to share with you guys, and thank you for doing this on a monthly basis. I've really learned a lot. So, oh, and then that it can be not just monetary, that the way that you could bring things in could be just emotions or connections, or I love to barter. I love to barter because I love having people exchange their knowledge. So just wanted to add that. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicole. I love that insight there. And so just getting into I do have to plug some stuff at Live Enjoy, but speaking of Nicole, who is a certified breathwork practitioner, this Friday night at Live Enjoy is having a breathwork workshop. Sorry, I just want to make sure. Yeah, healing breathwork workshop. And I've done her breathing before, and a few of you have probably experienced it before, but if you want to really kind of tap into everything that we've been talking about for these last few months, come on into the studio and take her workshop and just let the healing begin, because it's an amazing, amazing experience. I am so bummed I can't be there this Friday, but I will be at the next one that she has. I swear it. And then just bear with me a little bit here, as I do have to run through a few of these things because we are just about done here. But just so that you all know, anybody who logged in tonight will be entered into a drawing for 3 free classes of yoga classes at Live Enjoy. It's just a special that we were running this month. Anybody who attends a workshop in the month of April. And we still have Nicole's Healing Breathwork workshop. Saturday is a teenager Nidra special at 3 o'clock, which is really cool. So if you have teenagers in your life, get them on over to the studio. And then on May 7th, we have coming up Yoga Nidra and Sound Healing with Denise. We have a new moon sound healing every month. And May 31st will be another Manifest monthly. So that'll be on a Wednesday night. And also, third Fridays in Audubon are starting up next month. So every third Friday, the street's blocked off. We got live music, there's food, there's just a lot of vendors, and just a lot of fun. Just having a good time, having a lot of fun in the street. Come on in, take a look around and say hi, and it would be awesome to see you guys there. And one last thing before I let you go, for those of you who have or are in the 200-hour YTT program, we just listed the dates for our 300 YTT, which is going to be starting in October. So I just want to throw that out at you. And everything that I just talked about can be found on the website at liveenjoyyoga.com under either trainings or workshops. So I will send all this information out in a follow-up email to all of you. Shelly, I have your email address, but whose don't I have? Renee. I do not have your email address. So if you could send that to Rich and he can send it to me, I can copy you on that. Okay, awesome. So does anybody else have anything before we go? Everybody good? Thumbs up? All right. Feel free to reach out to me. I'm going to send you our contact information. You can reach out to Rich, or you can reach out to myself if you have any questions, you want some guidance, you just want to bounce something off, anything, I'm here for you. So whatever you need, most of you have my contact information if you want to chat further or just want to text me or whatever. I love hearing your feedback throughout the month. By the way, Rebecca, who's been with us for the last couple of months, is flying home right now from her trip to, where was that? Madagascar, that she manifested from the first month to the second month, which was exciting. And I was hoping she'd be on to share tonight, but no luck, maybe next month. So I just want to just take a quick second, if she watches the replay, to send her love while she's hopefully landing soon. So everybody have a wonderful night and a great month. Again, reach out to me if you want to. Thank you all for being here with us tonight. Rich, thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you so much. And yes, I am super proud of you, dude. Really proud. There you go, rock out. We need some opening music or something, or ending music. All right, all. I'm going to end this call. Everybody take care.
Thank
Bye.
you.
You're
Bye.
welcome.
Bye.
Bye.